Del Webb is beginning to look a lot more like the active adult community buyers were promised. I'm standing in front of the new Amenity Center where construction is moving forward. The pickleball and tennis courts are expected to open in October of 2026, with the remainder of the amenity campus scheduled to open in the summer of 2027. But the amenities are only part of the decision. In this video, I'm going to show you what is being built and what buyers can purchase today and what you should understand before choosing Del Webb Catalina as your retirement community in Lakewood Ranch. Now that you've seen where the amenities are being built, let's talk about what Del Webb Catalina will actually be when all this comes together, because this is much more than a collection of new homes. Catalina is planned for approximately 1,300 homes, and at the center of the community will be a 15-acre amenity campus overlooking a 70-acre lake. The clubhouse itself is planned at more than 35,000 square feet with a resort-style pool and spa, separate resistance pool, fitness and aerobics rooms, a wellness center with saunas, meeting and activity spaces, a golf simulator, and even an arcade. Outside, the completed plan includes 12 pickleball courts, 8 of them covered, 5 tennis courts, 4 bocce courts, a putting green, event lawn, dog parks, community gardens, and more than 12 miles of pathways, sidewalks, and walking trails. And there will also be a Horizon Grill and on-site restaurant and bar, which I think could become one of the more important amenities here. Because when you think about retirement living, the amenities aren't simply about having a nice pool or a place to play pickleball. They're really about creating opportunities to meet people. And if you're relocating here from New York, Chicago, New Jersey, California, or somewhere else, you're probably leaving behind a social network you've had for years. Having a restaurant, fitness center, clubs, activities, courts, and gathering spaces right outside your door makes it much easier to start building a new one. And Del Webb will have a lifestyle director coordinating activities, clubs, and events, so you can be as involved as you want to be. That, to me, is the real value of an active adult community. Now let's talk about the homes, because Catalina has a much broader range than you might expect in a 55-plus community. There are actually 17 home designs spread across 4 different collections. They range from attached villas all the way up to some very substantial single-family homes. At the end, you're looking at approximately 1,400 square feet, and at the upper end, you're approaching 4,000 square feet. So this isn't a community built around the idea that everyone retiring to Florida wants to dramatically downsize. Some people do. Others want an office, guest bedrooms for children and grandchildren, extra garage space, a pool, and a larger outdoor living area. Catalina gives you both options. And as of the time that I'm recording this, the attached villas start at around $355,000, and the single-family homes begin at around $426,000. From there, you have a substantial number of choices moving through the 400s, the 500s, the 600s, and the 700,000s. And once you move into some of the larger echelon homes, you're getting into the 800,000s and beyond, with the largest plans now starting at more than $1 million. So the pricing range here is enormous. But here's something I always want buyers to understand about new construction. The base price is the beginning of the conversation. It isn't necessarily the price of the home you're going to build. The home site you choose matters. A water or preserve view can matter. Structural changes matter. An extended lanai, larger garage, upgraded kitchen, flooring, cabinetry, design center selections, outdoor kitchen, and of course, a swimming pool can all move the final price considerably. So when you're comparing Catalina with another community, don't compare advertised base price to advertised base price. Compare the home you would actually want to live in after you've added the things that matter to you. And there's also the HOA cost to consider. Lakewood Ranch currently shows Catalina fees ranging at around $335 to $409 per month, depending on the home series. So that needs to become part of the overall retirement housing budget as well. But keep in mind, this is very low because the amenity center is not completed. Now, as we walk through some of the models, you'll see many of today's retirement buyers are looking for. Open kitchens, gathering rooms, large islands, flex rooms that can become offices, hobby rooms, or extra guest space. Large primary suites, big sliding doors that connect the interior to the home with the outside. And some of the larger homes have the ability to create a very substantial indoor-outdoor living environment with a pool, covered lanai, and an outdoor kitchen. Impact glass is also included, which is something I think every Florida buyer should be paying attention to. But there's another reason Catalina deserves consideration that has nothing to do with the house. You're not simply buying into Del Webb Catalina, you're buying into Lakewood Ranch. And that becomes particularly important when you're thinking about living here for 10, 15, or 20 years. Lakewood Ranch has grown into much more than a collection of residential communities. You've got shopping, restaurants, entertainment, medical care, and several distinct town center environments. The nearby green serves as the northern portion of Lakewood Ranch and gives you convenient, everyday shopping and dining. Lakewood Ranch Main Street gives you restaurants, shops, a movie theater, and regular community events. Farther south, Waterside Place gives you an entirely different lakefront environment with restaurants, shopping, live music events, and the Sunday Farmers Market. And just west of the Interstate 75, you've got the University Town Center area with an enormous selection of shopping, restaurants, and services. Healthcare is another part of the entire retirement decision that I think deserves much more attention than it normally gets. Lakewood Ranch Medical Center is here, along with an expanding network of physicians, specialists, urgent care facilities, and medical offices throughout the area. When you're 55 and 60, that may not be at the top of your list. But if you're buying for what could be your home for the next 20 years, proximity to good healthcare becomes increasingly important. The restaurant you like matters. The pool matters. The pickleball courts matter. But so does having doctors, specialists, and a hospital reasonably close to home. And then there's Sarasota. And this is one of the things that I think makes Lakewood Ranch particularly interesting as a retirement destination. You don't necessarily have to choose between an active suburban lifestyle and access to a real cultural city. Downtown Sarasota gives you restaurants, galleries, theater, the Sarasota Opera, Performing Arts, and the Ringling Museum. And then, of course, you've got the Gulf Coast, Siesta Key, Lido Key, Longboat Key. Now, I do want to put all of this into perspective. Del Webb Catalina is not a beach community. You're east of the Interstate 75. If your retirement dream is walking out the front door and being on the Gulf of Mexico 5 minutes later, this isn't that. But if you want a newer home, a large, active adult community, extensive amenities, all of Lakewood Ranch around you, and then Sarasota and the Gulf Coast available when you want them, that's where Catalina starts to make a lot of sense. And I think that's ultimately how you should evaluate this community, not simply by walking through a model and saying, do I like this kitchen? The better question is, does this community fit the retirement I'm actually trying to create? Do you want something relatively maintenance-free or smaller? There are villas. Do you want a single-family home without dramatically downsizing? You've got those choices. Do you want enough room for children and grandchildren to visit? You can do that too. Do you want pickleball, fitness, clubs, restaurants, and activities right inside your community? That's really what Catalina is designed around. But there are questions you need to ask yourself as well. Do you want to live in a community that will eventually have 1,300 homes? How much of the amenity package will you actually use? Are you comfortable buying while portions of the community are still under construction? And how much house do you really want to own in retirement? And once you've added the home site, the options, the pool, the upgrades you want, what does the real price of that home become? Those are the questions I would answer before deciding whether Catalina is right for you, because there are several excellent 55-plus choices in this area, and they're not interchangeable. The original Del Webb Lakewood Ranch offers a more established environment. Crestwind has a different scale and personality. Catalina gives you something different again, brand new construction and very large planned amenity package, and one of the broadest ranges of homes available in a 55-plus community here. The right choice really depends on how you want to live. If you're considering Del Webb Catalina, Crestwind, or the original Del Webb Lakewood Ranch, or you're simply trying to figure out which 55-plus community on Florida's Gulf Coast fits you best, that's exactly the kind of decision I help my clients work through. And if you're looking at new construction, remember that salesperson in the sales office represents the builder, not you. Having your own realtor doesn't mean somebody is just there to open a door. It means having someone on your side helping you evaluate the home site, the options, the incentives, the community, and the total investment and price before you make the decision. I'm George Latos, realtor with Zackos Realty and Design Group, and if you're thinking about retiring or relocating to Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, or Florida's Gulf Coast, subscribe to this channel. And if you'd like to talk about your move, my contact information is below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.